boys and girls of the shaft? I am back with another hot and tasty video. This time we're looking into how close Ark got with 7 of its creatures. Huge thanks to our local paleontologist, Noot for helping with the research on this one. Let's get right into it with number 7, the Rex. The Rex, a dinosaur we all learned about as a child. Big, scary, a killer. But how did a Rex really look, and how close did Ark get? Fossils show that the Rex was about 40 feet long and 20 feet tall. Now that's huge. Height-wise, Ark got pretty close. Maybe ever so slightly too big, but that's a nitpick. And yes, it had tiny little baby arms as well, paired with a huge head, just like an Ark. Now for the biggest question, the feathers. Should Ark have put feathers on the Rex? Well, the answer is kind of, maybe. Despite many arguments coming about since the discovery of the yutyrannus, the general consensus is they had some feathers, but they weren't giant chickens. They were absolutely not a fully feathered dinosaur. Moving on to number 6, the Raptor. Can we take a second to admire how gosh darn annoying the Raptors have become on Ark? I mean, they've always been super annoying, but now they're extra annoying. You cannot take 2 steps without being pounced on by a Raptor. Now, in the Raptor dossier, Helena states the Ark Raptor is a Utah Raptor. Surprisingly, Ark actually got this pretty right, apart from one tiny little detail. The feathers. These prehistoric menaces should have had an almost entire body full of feathers. Honestly, though, the Ark Raptors still are really good and hit a lot closer to home than one might have thought. Good thing they had that TLC pass, or else we would really be ripping into them. But one tiny detail of the Ark Raptor that tends to really ruffle the feathers of the dinosaur nerds is their hands. They should be facing inwards. To me, this isn't the biggest deal out there, but it should really be fixed, especially if we're talking about details. I mean, come on. Number 5, the Gigantopithecus. That's really hard to say. The ape of Ark, big and forgotten. Really, how often do you even think about this gal? Now, Ark really took the idea that Bigfoot was a Giganto and blew it way out of proportion. The Giganto wouldn't have walked on 2 legs like that at all. At least all the time. The Giganto, I think I'm saying that right, Giganto, would have been a quadruped. It more than likely could walk on 2 legs, but not all the time. Also, size-wise, the Ark version is actually a bit smaller than it would have actually been, and definitely not as bulky. Design-wise, it really isn't the worst in the game, but it does certainly bug me that it just looks and feels like Bigfoot, not an actual menacing prehistoric monkey beast. I know the Giganto has already had a TLC pass, but maybe another round is needed on it to really push it into the spotlight and actually make it cool and fearsome. Also, did you know that these guys actually screamed? Can you imagine how terrifying it would be if we got a second TLC pass and you had these giant apes barreling in your direction on all 4s and screaming like a banshee? Not something I'd want to mess with. Let's talk about number 4, the Carno. The Carno. I know, guys. I know. I have bullied its arms in the past too. But I mean, really, look at them. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, Ark got them pretty much right. If anything, they are slightly too big. I can't believe I'm saying this, but damn, they had some stumps for arms. Now, as far as the rest of the Carno, it's not really that bad. The Carno had a short skull, stumpy, you could say, just like the rest of it, but the Ark variant's head looks a bit too long and bulky. The Carnotaurus would have run faster than it already does in Ark. A Carno being able to run up to 56 kilometers an hour. That's over 35 miles per hour for those of you in the United States, but only in short bursts, making it a super sprinter. Number 3, the Dilophosaurus. Ark devs! We can see you really liked Jurassic Park, taking their version of a Dillo and putting it into the game, unfortunately. The real Dillo was nothing like this. It did not have frills, and it absolutely did not spit venom. How dare you? That, honestly, is a bit ridiculous when you think about it. Please, kids, don't learn your dinosaurs from Ark. The Dillo was actually much bigger, and I mean much bigger, standing about 2 meters tall. To put it into perspective, that's about as tall as a fully grown adult man, and that's a fully grown adult man who's kind of like above average height. The Dillo also had a pair of plate-shaped crests on its head. This is a very prominent feature of the Dilophosauruses. Now, these were also skinny, not the little chubsters we have on Ark now. So do I think Ark should change these guys and make them more accurate to real life? Honestly, no. As ridiculous and goofy as they may seem compared to what they really were, the Ark version is really closer to what most of us imagine thanks to Jurassic Park being a staple for the Ark generation. Coming in at number 2, the Toothless. Get it? Toothless. Now, the Toothless is probably one of the hardest ones to research, but I felt like because of that, I had to include it into this list. The in-game Toothless is a lot like the modern-day giant squid, but the more I dug, the more confusing it all became. Some believe the Tuso to have looked nothing like the Ark one, having much shorter limbs and possibly having a shell. Now, the shell one was a huge debate. Some believe it did, others were certain it wasn't possible. But equally, others were saying the Toothless was merely a bigger version of our giant squid we have today, which is terrifying to think about. It's the eye, man. I swear, that is the freakiest thing ever. But either way, the only consistent found amongst it all was that the Tuso was more prey than predator to most prehistoric creatures, being able to take down a sperm whale, but most definitely not a mosasaur. So at the end of the day, Ark actually did really good with what is known about it and probably made the smarter in-game choice to model it after the giant squid. If any paleo nerds out there know the answer, please leave it in the comments, because I got so invested and fell into such a deep hole trying to find the answer to this. I need to know, man. And finally, coming in at number 1, the Quetzal. Here comes the hot dinosaur debate. The Quetzal couldn't fly. There, I said it. Now, this is a huge debate. Some saying the Quetzal would have weighed around 250 kilograms. I'm not going to bother doing the math conversion. Way too heavy to actually fly. Even if it went and jumped off a cliff or ran down a hill, there is absolutely no way it could have achieved it, having such a large amount of weight. It would have just gone splat on the ground. But on the other hand, some paleontologists insist the Quetzal would have weighed around 70 kilograms, which is a much lower guess and actually makes it possible to fly. So then, there's the big Ark debate. Should the Quetzal have been more like a seaside giraffe-like bird that ate crayfish? Now, despite the name Quetzalcoatlus, meaning feathered serpent, I don't know if I said that right, it was not feathered. Although the name is awesome, it isn't accurate, having large flaps of skin instead of feathered wings. But here's the kicker. It is highly possible that the Quetzal had its own prehistoric version of fur. Now, unfortunately, I can't go and ask a Quetzal this to completely fact check, but if so, then that means at least look-wise, Ark basically nailed it, just needing to add a little more fluff to the poor thing's neck. This majestic beast may need a bit of a skin overhaul just to make it look a little prettier, but they did actually get it almost right. The only mistake is it should have had a sharper, thinner beak, but fingers crossed on that skin update. Now, that about does it for today's video. Leave a comment down below telling me whether or not you disagree or agree with some of these points. I know you'll all agree because I'm always right. And don't be afraid to come into the Discord and debate our paleontologists. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe with notifications. Blat, 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 splat, blat. It would have just gone splat, splat. It would have just gone splat. Splat. Splat, 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 splat. It would have just gone splat, splat. It would have just gone splat. Splat! 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 It would have just gone splat! Splat!
It would have just gone splat.
I can't figure out how to splat.